How We Make Movies is brought to you by Microsoft Surface, Assimilate, Azo, Moviola, and Canon Hollywood. It's shot in front of a live audience in Los Angeles and hosted by the film collective We Make Movies.
One of the really interesting things I learned and I'm going through right now as we prepare for self-distribution is the process of E&O insurance. I knew we were going to have to get it, and my concern was we don't have location agreements for a lot of this stuff. You know, like the house we got was like an Airbnb thing. It's a very cheap rental. Just don't tell them you're filming. Otherwise it like quadruples. And you know, we shot at some locations like the airport and without permission. And so I was a little concerned about, and there's brands and the motorcycle says Triumph right there. And so I was like, this stuff might be a problem. And if it is a problem, then I'll go through in After Effects and I'll just blur it out. I don't care. It doesn't have to be perfect, whatever. And so, but what I learned was in talking to the E&O guys is they're like, it doesn't really matter. I'm like, well, I've got this like Triumph thing. And they're like, unless you sit there and say that Triumph is a shitty motorcycle, can we swear?
Oh yeah, it's the internet. You can say whatever you want.
As long, you know, unless you're sitting there and saying that Triumph is the worst motorcycle ever made, and that's one of the big points of your character is they're sitting on the Triumph and it breaks down, like then they have a case, but largely they don't. So you're always worried about not having brands and not showing Nike things and you know, gaffing out all this stuff. And
every film I've ever done, we've like for the
the black tape and all that stuff. And what I learned was it doesn't matter. Like unless you're disparaging the product, it largely is not. It's not a concern to the E&O guys.
And you learned that.
It's not to say you might not get something, but yeah. And so that was the lawyer. Now, obviously, you guys need to, if you are going through the process, you need to talk to your lawyer and confirm that. But I was surprised by where they do put their focus and where they don't put their focus. So like location agreements, none of that stuff matters. It's basically like what's in the film, what's the film about, and they'll cover you against, you know, are there people in the film that you didn't have permission to film? And are they featured? And are they disparaged? And if they are, then like they'll protect you against that kind of stuff. So
that's cool.
But you know, at the end of the day, I got to a place where I said, if some guy can go into Disneyland and film a movie that shits on Disneyland in the biggest way and sell it and make a lot of money from it, then I'm fine with my $6,000 French fry.